Have you ever seen those massive steel coils on the back of a truck and thought, that looks like a disaster waiting to happen? Well, you're not wrong. These things are nicknamed suicide coils for a reason. One wrong move, and a coil weighing up to 30 tons or 66,000 pounds could roll right into the driver's cabin or wreak havoc on the highway. Surprisingly, many experienced drivers choose the suicide loading style, even though it's seen as the most dangerous. Today, we're diving into why these monsters are loaded this way, how they're made, and, by the end of the video, the best way to secure them so they never roll again. Stick around, because this is a matter of life and death, not just for safety of the drivers, but for everyone else on the road. First, let's explore how these coils are manufactured. Steel coils are produced by transforming steel or aluminum ingots or slabs into long, thin strips, which are then tightly wound into coils. The manufacturing process typically involves hot rolling, where the metal is heated to high temperatures for shaping, resulting in a rougher surface and larger dimensional variations, or cold rolling at room temperature, which produces a smoother surface finish and more precise shape. The coils may also be galvanized, a process that coats them to stop rust and boost durability. These coils are widely used in industries such as construction, automotive, packaging, and aerospace. You might wonder if the coils are so dangerous. Why we roll them into coils instead of stacking flat sheets? It's all about efficiency. First, coils are made in one continuous process at steel mills, way faster and cheaper than cutting sheets. They save space too. One coil holds thousands of feet of steel, unlike bulky sheet stacks taking up warehouse room. Coils are easier to load and move because of the cylinder shape, cutting costs. They're also perfect for factories, unrolling straight into machines for cars or appliances. Plus, coils, with their tightly wound structure, protect the steel from scratches better than sheets. In the heavy road transport industry, transporting these coils is no joke. Their high center of gravity and cylindrical shape mean they want to roll, especially when a truck speeds up, slows down, or turns. A loose coil on the highway is a disaster waiting to happen, capable of smashing vehicles and infrastructure. So how do you safely transport something this dangerous? You might spot these massive coils on trucks and think, why not just lay them flat to prevent rolling? To answer that, let's dive into the 3 ways coils are loaded onto flatbeds. There are 3 ways to load these coils onto flatbeds: suicide, shotgun, and eye to the sky. Suicide coil is where the eye of the coil is to the sides of the truck. Shotgun is where the hole is facing front to back along the length of the truck. And eye to the sky is when the hole is facing straight up to the sky. The loading method is primarily determined by the receiver's preference, based on their equipment used for loading or unloading, such as forklifts with coil ram attachments, overhead cranes, or magnetic coil lifters. Let's start with shotgun loading. As mentioned earlier, the receiver usually decides how coils are loaded, but shotgun style is often chosen for wider coils, typically over 75 inches. This is because loading wide coils in suicide style leaves no room for securement chains and binders and obstructs the driver's mirrors, making it hard to use them effectively. However, shotgun loading has a significant drawback, earning it the nickname homicide load. If the coil comes loose, it does not roll towards the driver, it rolls sideways into nearby vehicles, endangering others on the road. Additionally, this loading style is costly to load and unload. Regular forklifts or those with coil ram attachments often can't handle these coils, and most shotgun-loaded coils require an overhead crane. Now that we've seen the risks of shotgun loading, let's look at eye-to-the-sky loading. Eye-to-the-sky coils, also known as skidded coils, are often seen as the safest loading method, and you're right to think so. This style is highly stable, minimizing the risk of coils rolling toward the driver or nearby vehicles. But it's typically used for lightweight coils, such as aluminum for canning plants, which are loaded onto plastic or wooden pallets and handled by forklifts. However, challenges arise with coils exceeding 20,000 pounds. Securing them in the eye-to-the-sky orientation with X-pattern tie-downs is less effective, and loading or unloading requires expensive specialized equipment, like large forklifts or overhead cranes with special tongs, or lifting frames, which many companies can't afford. Overhead cranes with tongs have slippage problems, and there are not many around. Also, it's expensive and time-consuming to flip it back up to a horizontal orientation by coil appender machines. Coil racks and friction mats block only the outer layer, and if something goes wrong, it can result in telescoping and violent unraveling. This is where the suicide style starts to make sense. It's much easier and faster to load and unload suicide coils using a forklift with a coil ram attachment. Steel coils are tightly rolled and packed at the mill, and this style maintains their tension, preventing violent unraveling. Coil racks and friction mats secure the entire coil, unlike shotgun loading, which only secures the outer layer. Suicide coils are simpler to secure by passing chains through the eye and fastening them with hooks, offering stronger securement than the X pattern used in eye-to-the-sky loading. Additionally, this method is considered less risky for other drivers on the road, as any failure primarily endangers the truck driver, not surrounding traffic. You've likely seen shocking videos of suicide coils crashing into the driver's cab. A closer look reveals that in nearly all cases, the coils were improperly secured with loose or inadequate chains. While suicide loading is more efficient and cost-effective than shotgun or eye-to-the-sky methods, accidents involving coils crashing into the cab still occur. So, the key question is, how can we prevent these accidents? One of the safest ways to transport steel coils is with custom-built trailers, but designs differ between the US and Europe. In the US, flatbed trailers are commonly used for steel coils, while custom-built trailers, like those used by Adams Trucking, are rare. These specialized trailers feature a pocket that cradles a single coil, providing additional securement with designated tie-down points. However, their coil-specific design limits versatility, reducing backhaul opportunities. In contrast, European trailers often feature standardized troughs or coil wells along the truck's length. These trailers are more versatile, accommodating other cargo types, which highlights both the safety and economic advantages of trough trailers over US flatbeds. It's always best practice to follow the specific securement requirements for metal coils outlined by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA, a U.S. Department of Transportation agency. These regulations ensure safety and compliance with federal laws. Detailed guidelines are available in Section 393.120 of the FMCSA's Cargo Securement Regulations. The bottom line is that when steel coils are properly secured on a flatbed, even in the high-risk suicide style, they're unlikely to roll thanks to robust chain tie-downs and coil racks that counter their immense weight and tension. However, not all drivers strictly follow securement guidelines, often due to time pressures, inexperience, or varying U.S. state regulations, which can lead to catastrophic accidents. In my view, adopting standardized trailers, like those widely used in Europe, could be a game changer. These trailers lock coils in place, reducing reliance on manual securement and minimizing human error. If the U.S. mandated such trailers alongside stricter uniform regulations, accidents could be significantly reduced, if not nearly eliminated. Combining this with enhanced driver training would further address the root causes of coil-related incidents. What do you think is the best way to safely transport these deadly coils? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more explanations of the world around us. Thanks for watching.